Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.co.uk. I'm Heidi Smith. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the United Kingdom, and today I'm working with the lovely Blessings of Home Heart and Home Suite. Lovely Blessings of Home stamp set, which come lovely floral images, super really useful sentiments, including have a perfect birthday, and then we've got the dies that coordinate as well. So the dies cut out the two main floral images, and then have got these lovely accent foliage dies as well, which you will see here on some cards here, just add a lovely accent. So these are some cards we made recently at a demonstrator event. You can see and the colours in there. So if you've got cinnamon cider and fresh freesia, and then a little note card size, thank you. You see a little bit of Wink of Stella on there as well. So I'm not doing the cards today. Today we're going to create this box here, which has also, I'm using the denim ribbon, which also comes as part of the suite, or rather that's what I used on this one. So denim ribbon comes part of the suite because the papers have Misty Moonlight in. So you'll see we've got cinnamon cider, and on the front we've got coloured paper, and on the reverse we've got wood grain images in basic grey. So you can see we've got pale papaya and garden green here, lovely fresh freesia with like a stacked stone image, some Misty Moonlight almost of tiles, and again overall wood grain, again some pale papaya and fresh freesia flowers with the boards running in the opposite direction to the pattern, and again here. So you see that's our lovely garden green as well. So that's our paper, and as you can see, I've used this is the project we're doing today, which is this lovely box. We've got Misty Moonlight on there, and the box itself, say just held closed, designed it so that this little knot creates almost like a little bow on the front of the bouquet, and it's a double fronted box, but it's a really good size. So when you open it up, you've got this fabulous box in here that you can see, really nice and sturdy. Those little tuck-ins help keep it nice and square. And this one I've done in centimetres. I have worked it out in inches, but I've sized the inches one. It will come up slightly smaller because I've sized it to fit on US A4 cardstock. So this uses in centimetres, obviously worldwide A4, and then US cardstock will come up slightly different proportions. But this is about 5 centimetres high by 9 centimetres long, by about 6.5 wide. So as you can see, it's a really good sturdy box. So what could you pop in there? A little care package for somebody. Pop a little bit of hand sanitizer, perhaps some chocolates or something. Anything like this of the big. A couple of lip balms would go in there as well. You know, even some of these bigger ones, would they fit in? Not quite, but the kind of small chunky bottles of sanitizer would fit in. But you could pop some of those face masks, all sorts of things in there. Anyway, that's what we're going to make. And apart from knocking my light out, I thought we'd make it in fresh freesia. So that's what I'm going to use. So I'm going to use the fresh freesia DSP, and so I'm going to use my gorgeous grape to adds the contrast. So you're going to need an A4 sheet of cardstock, then you're going to need 3 pieces that are 8.5 by 6 of contrast, 1 piece of DSP that's 8 by 5.5, 2 pieces of white that are 8 by 5.5. For the sides, 2 pieces of card, which are 8.5 by 4.5, and 2 pieces of DSP that are 8 by 4. If you want to reinforce the ends, you can see here I've put a plain panel on, then those are 6 by 4.5 centimetres, and obviously you could add DSP, but I thought it was just, you know, nice as it was. Okay, so those layers can be popped together apart from our stamped layer. So we can crack on with those. So this is flat gluing, so you can use whatever your preference is, but obviously Seal is designed for exactly this. You could add a bit of stamping onto this if you wanted to, add a sentiment, but this is where you might want to write a message to someone. And our two sides, and you can see I've cut those in the orientation so that those flowers go vertically. Oh, I haven't done a very good job of cutting those. Okay, I clearly didn't trim those. Sides, they should be 8 by 4, and I've probably cut them at 8.5. Yes. Okay. There we go. There we go. Soon sorted. And again. Okay. And so while we're doing that, we can now do our image. So what I've actually done in terms of the main image on the front is here, you can see I actually used Misty Moonlight and then some Wink of Stella. So let's try that with our fresh freesia. It's quite a big stamp, so I'm actually going to do and it's also quite detailed, so I'm just going to do the ink pad to stamp. Again, just cover it several times. And then just stamp down, see there. And then we can come in, and I'm just going to add a little piece of acrylic here, a bit of fresh freesia at the end, and then a bit of garden green at the opposite end. And then Wink of Stella, just use that to pick up the colour. So just come in and in effect you're using your sort of Wink of Stella as water to give us some lovely depth of colour here. If you wanted something, just make sure you go in with a little bit more of the ink. Some people use the top of their ink pads for that. I tend not to, because I don't like to sort of contaminate my ink pads potentially. So I'm just dabbing just here, these little sort of forget-me-nots on the top there. Then when you're finished, just brush it a couple of times to get the colour off. And then I'm actually going to want to make these quite pale, because otherwise they're going to dominate. Okay. So just a little hint of colour on those, and again tying it into our colours in our DSP. In fact, what I might do is just use a touch of pale papaya for the centres there. Grab again, just a little block. There we go. So that's our little front panel. Just allow that to dry very slightly, and then I can again just use our seal to add that panel to the front. Okay, so those are our panels ready to go. Now we can crack on with our actual box itself. So you're going to want a sheet of A4, and as I say, 29 by 29.5 by 21 centimetres for the UK A4 cardstock and European A4. So if you're working in imperial, working in centimetres, these are the ones you want. You're going to, on the short side, you're going to score at 1 centimetre. Flip that round. You're going to go at 6 centimetres, at 15 centimetres, and then at 20 centimetres. Then on the long edge, you are going to score at 6.5, at 11.5, at 18 centimetres, and at 23 centimetres. Now, once you've done this, you want to burnish those. I'll grab my bone folder. Bone folders, when you're box making, bone folders just make that much easier to do. So these are our sides here. And that's our base. Okay, so now we're going to do some trimming. So you're going to grab your snips, and if we're having it in this orientation, the first thing you're going to do is take out these panels here. Like so. And you're going to do that on both ends. Like so. Because these are going to be that overlapping front on your box. Like so. Okay, so these are going to fold up and those are going to create the overlap. So these are going to be our side panels. So you're going to cut straight down that middle, each side of that middle section, and then you're just going to trim that little rectangle. And you can come slightly on the inside of the score line if you want on that. And also just take a slight sliver on those as well. So you want it straight on the middle section, because that's going to be the side of our box, and you're taking a slight sliver off each side of the tabs. So again, repeat that on the opposite side. So again, we're coming straight down. For our nice sides to our box. We're going to trim away that end skinny tab, like so, and then we're going to just notch very slightly on those. Okay, the decks. So now we're going to add our panels onto the front here while it's nice and flat, because obviously that makes life easier for us. Makes it easier to line it up. So again, depending on how you want it. So this, I'm going to make this my front panel. I'm going to add my two sides. And the fresh freesia, I love it with gorgeous grape. Like so. And then you can decide which way you want it, whether you want an open panel on the inside and the contrast. That's how I prefer it. Again, so there goes my DSP panel. And then when you flip it over, you're going to pop your plain panel on the inside there. And as I said, you could easily, if you wanted to, add a little stamping on that as well, or your sentiment. So now all that remains is to glue our tabs in. So 3D, I'm going to use my seal for this. Okay, I'm going to have some fun with my seal. Wet glue it is then, on that one. And that's going to come up vertically, and you're just going to create a nice square side there. And do the same on the other side. What's happened there is I've got a little bit of debris on my Seal Plus, which meant it was snagging, so rather than messing with that now, you see. And then you're going to put the glue on the inside of those, like so. Again, just make sure that the sides of that box are nice and square. Oh, one of my lights has decided to give up the ghost. Apologies for a little darkness. So then we have our box, and all that remains is to add our ribbon. And I've just got some of our lovely fresh freesia ribbon, because I thought that would obviously go significantly better. So what I'm doing, because I'm doing a knot, I don't need much overlap, so I'm just going to kind of cut my ribbon like so. And just two ways of doing this. I like to put an extra twist in. I think they call it a surgeon's knot, because what you can do then is just pull that tight before you, and it'll hold it tighter while you put your second knot in, like so. And then you can just trim that. So there we have our pair of pretty double-fronted boxes using the lovely Blessings of Home. So thank you for watching. Do come back and see me again soon. And if you'd like to purchase any of the products you've seen, they're available now in that lovely new catalogue. Pop along to my shop at heidismith.stampinup.net, or if you'd like a physical copy of the catalogue, let me know and I'll get one out to you. Bye now.